I have so much more thoughts about this book. Please don't come for me. I know a lot of people love this book. Olive is a very annoying character to read from. It was a fast read. It kept me on the edge of my seat. Chapters are so long. She was a very, unlikable character, but it worked. On this time around, not so much, and that is People Who Get on Vacation by Emily Henry. I need a water break. I've been talking so much. Hello book friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylin and I hope you guys are doing so lovely. This video is going to be my August wrap up, which you guys can obviously see given the title. I'm so sorry this video is late. I was not planning on this video going up in the middle of September. I actually was supposed to film this video the week I was on vacation, which was the second to last week in August, but I got COVID and then it took me almost 3 weeks to officially recover from COVID and feel normal and have my energy back and feel motivated again. So that's why this video is late. So sorry, but it's here and that's all that matters. Before we get started, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed because I would love it if you did. Make sure to also check the description box down below. I'll have every single book I talk about in this video linked down below for you guys. And let's get into this because I read a lot of books and I have a lot to say about them. I'm going to pull up Goodreads because that's where I keep track of my reading. How I like to do my wrap-ups is I will start with my lowest rated book and then go all the way to my highest. It makes more sense in my brain that way. That's just how I do it. My lowest rated book this month is a 2-star, so I have 2 books I rated 2 stars. And the first book is We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, which is the ending of the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. This is the conclusion. And this book, okay, so this is technically a reread for me, but I haven't read this series since I was like 18, somewhere around that age, so it's been a very long time since I've read this series. So obviously when I'm 18, which was 10 years ago, do the math, that'll show you my age, my brain was still very much teenager. Even though you think you're adult at 18, you're still very much a teenager. So I didn't know a lot of things about love, relationships, friendships, all of that. And now as a full grown adult and my brain is fully developed, I have so much more thoughts about this book than I did. I remember absolutely loving this book. This time around, I did not. I feel like Belly is super immature. I mean, obviously, she's 16, 17-ish. I don't know. I forget how old she is in this book. Maybe she's 18. I don't know. But I feel like she's very immature. She makes immature decisions, like getting married after the guy just told you he cheated on you and you're going to get married to him. What? It's just stuff like that where I'm like, okay, first off, you're so young. What? And it's her, completely not thinking about anyone else in her life and only thinking about herself. It's just, rubbed me the wrong way. So I give this book a 2-star. Next book that is a 2-star, please don't come for me. I know a lot of people love this book. That is The Love Hypothesis. Yeah, so the first time I read this book, I had absolutely no idea it was a fanfic that turned into a novel, which love that for Hazelwood. But I am the type of person that doesn't really like that writing. Don't get me wrong, I had my fanfic moment, and I love that if you have your fanfic moment right now, but for me personally, fanfiction is just not where I'm at in my life. I don't like that writing style. So for me, it was 100% the writing style in this book. It's very cringy, very plot convenient. The characters, except for Adam, were all very annoying. Olive is a very annoying character to read from. To me, she comes across as, I'm trying to be different. I'm not like other girls. That type of girl, how, example, her contacts expired, years ago, and she still wears them. Why? That's just only one example. Also, her best friend on whatever her name was, hated her, did not like her. I hated how at every moment she could, she pushed Olive onto Adam. Like, there was this one moment where they were all, I think it was a lecture, or maybe it was like a, I don't know the right word. It's like gone out of my brain. Let's just say it was a lecture, okay? And there was no seats, and Autumn was like, why don't you just sit on Adam's lap? And Olive was like, no, I really don't want to, like, I don't feel comfortable. And Autumn was like, come on, he's your boyfriend, do it. Like, that, and also where she forced her to put sunscreen on Adam when she didn't want to, and when she forced her to kiss Adam. Listen, there's so many moments in this book that I just hated, and I feel like, I just don't know, like, I've heard a couple of people feel the same way I feel about this book. And also I've heard them say that, like, Ali Hazelwood's next book is so much better than this one. Like, the writing is so much better. It's kind of the same-ish going on with, like, the lab and all that, but, like, the writing is so much better. But I honestly think I am not gonna continue on with Ali Hazelwood. I've read this book twice, okay? And both times I didn't really enjoy it. The only reason why I kept reading was because of Adam. I really liked Adam. But the second time around reading it, I just don't love Adam enough to, like, rate this book any higher than a 2-star. So this book's a 2-star. I'm sorry if this is your favorite book. Please don't come for me. Please don't hate for me. This is just my opinion. So the next couple books I'm going to talk about are the books I rated 3-star, and the first one is going to be Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. This is a thriller. We follow Libby Day, whose whole family was murdered at their farm when she was 7, and her brother was accused of the murder. Libby was actually the one who kind of made his sentence, like, guilty, because she testified against him even though she was only 7 at the time of the murders, and she escaped, obviously. 25 years later, she joins a kind of like a secret society that's obsessed with, like, murder and cold cases and trying to solve it, and they're all trying to convince her that her brother really isn't the murderer and someone else out there is. And so she kind of goes on this hunt to really see if they're right, and she begins to kind of feel the same way. This book is really interesting. I really liked how we got dual timelines, the couple timelines, and actually we got a couple POVs that we're following. We're following Libby in present day, and then we're following Ben, which is the brother, and then the mother. I forget the mother's name. Sorry. And Ben and the mother's chapters are both the 24 hours prior to the killings. So you get to see, like, the events leading up to the killings, which is, you know, interesting. And you also get to see, like, Libby and how she comes to this decision and how she finds out and all that. So the reason why I rated this book a 3-star is because the ending was very, like, underwhelming and kind of, like, predictable, but also not at the same time. I don't really know how to explain it, but I really liked this book. It was a fast read. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and if you guys are looking for a thriller, check this one out. The next 3-star book I want to talk about is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is actually my first Casey McQuiston book, and I was very nervous going into this book because I've seen a lot of mixed reviews, and I've seen also reviews, like, saying how it's written like a fanfic, and we just discussed that. That's not my jam, so I was very nervous, but actually I was pleasantly surprised with this book. I originally, like, started reading this book physically, but the chapters are so long, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. If I end up, like, reading this just physically, I'm going to DNF this book because I absolutely don't like long chapters. Hate them. So I found the audiobook, and I listened to it in audio, and I ended up really enjoying this book. There were a couple things I didn't like example, how Nico, which is one of the side characters' only personality trait was he's a psychic, and it literally, he mentioned it every single time he came onto the page, and it was just like, shut up, we get it, you're a psychic. But the whole, like, time, like, it's not time travel, but the whole, like, she's stuck on the subway in a certain period of time and she can't get out, like, she's not aging. It's kind of interesting, and I ended up really enjoying this. You guys don't, I guess I should say what this book is about. I'm so bad at giving summaries. I'm really sorry. Basically, we follow August, who moves to New York, and she moves in with strangers, and she's going to work, and one day she's on a subway. So she sees this girl, and she meets this girl named Jane. She gives August her scarf, I think because she spilled something on her shirt, and August was on her way to first day of classes, and she ends up kind of like can't stop thinking about Jane, and so this Jane girl becomes her crush, and then there blooms a love story. So really interesting. Give this book a 3-star. Pleasantly surprised. And I kind of want to read more of her books. But if they're going to always be long chapters, I don't know. So, the next book I'm going to talk about is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. In this book, we follow Catherine, who has been banished to her family's lake house in Vermont, I believe, by her mother, because Catherine's been dealing with some alcoholism due to her husband dying, and she then turns to drinking to kind of cope with her feelings. And one day she's out on the lake and she sees a body, and it's her across the street neighbor, Catherine, who is a model, and she basically saves her life, and there forms a friendship. But then Catherine suddenly vanishes, and that's all I'm going to say. Okay, this is my second Riley Sager. The first Riley Sager book I read was Final Girls, I think. I didn't like that book. This book, I struggled with rating this book because I did really enjoy it up until the big twist. I thought the twist was just way too far out there. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything. But it just, to me, I would have loved this book so much more if the twist wasn't that. And I've seen a couple people say that, so I feel like I'm not alone on this. But I don't know. I think I probably will pick up another Riley Sager book and see how I feel. But I'm also thinking it could be his writing style isn't for me. But back to this book. I really liked Catherine as a character. She was very self-aware of how toxic the model industry is, and how like she's well aware, like she wears a dress that costs someone's like yearly salary, and how just like there's people starving that money could go towards, and how like just toxic the model industry is. And so I really enjoyed her. I also really enjoyed Casey. She was a very like unlikable character, but it worked. So yeah, I gave this book a 3-star. The last 3-star I'm going to talk about is actually a very shocking rating for me, because this book was a reread, and when the first time I read this book, I gave this book a 5-star. Loved it. It was incredible. This time around, not so much. And that is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. What this book is about is we follow Alex and Poppy, who have a friendship they've developed over the course of, I forget how many years. They've been friends for, I think, over a decade, and they always go on summer vacations together, and they always have a great time until one summer something happens, and it causes them to, like, stop talking for 2 years, and then they go on vacation again to try to, like, rekindle their friendship. The reason why I just really didn't vibe with this book this time around is I kind of found Poppy to be extremely annoying. And I found it just very frustrating how both of them just like didn't say anything about how they felt about each other, and it would have just saved them so much energy and stress and heartache if they were both just honest. But I understand that it's hard to be honest with someone about their feelings, especially if it's like a friend. You don't want to risk that friendship, but also like you never know. Yeah, I don't think I'll be rereading this book. I actually have a vlog featuring this book, The Love Hypothesis, and one more I'm going to talk about on my channel. So if you guys want to hear more of my thoughts and like reactions to me reading this book, go check out that vlog. I'll link it down below for you guys so you guys can click on it. But yeah, gave this book a 3-star. That's all I'm going to say. Just kidding. I have one more 3-star book I completely forgot about, and that is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. I listened to this on audiobook, but I followed along so I could annotate. I am trying to make my way through Cassandra Clare's books by the end of next year, and The Mortal Instruments is just like not a series I really care for. I think mainly because Clary and Jace are just so freaking annoying. The whole like being brother and sister but still like loving each other more than a brother and sister is so weird to me. So I just don't really like them. They're just very annoying characters. So is Simon. Simon's very annoying. Everyone else, I like everyone else. But I'm curious to see like how my thoughts change throughout this series. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna say about this book. Give it a 3-star. Moving on. The next 2 books, well, technically they're mangas, are both 4-star reads. So I'm just gonna hold them up. That is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 2 and Volume 3. Absolutely love these. This is such a good manga series. If you guys are looking for a great manga, check out Tokyo Ghoul. It's very, I just love it. I'm not going to give a description because quite honestly, I don't feel like it. And I suck at giving summaries of mangas. So yeah, but just trust me. If you guys want to know more, look up the summary, but love these, both 4 stars. And the last book I'm going to talk about is my only 5-star read, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a reread. This is the book that is featured in the vlog that I talked about with people we meet on vacation and the Love Hypothesis. Hold on. My memory card's going to run out. So, Daisy Jones and the Six. If you guys don't know what this book is about, which I'm sure everyone in the mother knows what this book is about, but if you guys don't know what this book is about, I'm going to read the little blurb instead of giving this book a summary because I don't want to do this book any injustice by like screwing up the summary, and sometimes me and summaries don't work well because I lose my words, my brain gets all jumbled, so we're just going to read it. Everyone knows Daisy Jones and the Six, the band's album Aurora, came to define the rock and roll era of the late 70s. And an entire generation of girls wanted to grow up to be Daisy, but no one knows the reason behind the group's split on the night of their final concert at Chicago Stadium on July 12, 1979 until now. So basically what this book is it's kind of with, it's like written like interview style, like you go through someone interviewing the band, you go through and someone is interviewing the band and also Daisy, and you kind of see everyone's side of things and like the events leading up to, you know, the ending of the band, and it's very good. I loved how this was written. I thought it was very engaging. It kept me going. Also, the audiobook is incredible. You get a full cast of characters. I would highly recommend the audiobook if you want to read this book and you haven't yet. Audiobook it, but also follow along because there are some incredible moments in this book. I loved all the characters. Like Daisy Jones, wow. She made a lot of mistakes along the way, but she kind of had to sit with them, but she grew from them too, and she learned from them, and you know, everyone makes mistakes. Daisy and Billy, that's all I'm going to say. I know this is being made into a show from Amazon. Is it Amazon doing this? I'm incredibly excited because I love this book. I laughed, I cried, mostly cried because this book is so heartbreaking. And that's, you know, I don't know what else to say to make you guys like love this book and want to read it, but just go read this book. It's so good. Okay, you guys, those are all the books I read this month. I feel like August was a very good reading month for me. I haven't had a reading month where I've read a lot of books in a long time, so that made me really happy. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, comment down below some of the books you read in August because I would love to know. Also, if you aren't already, make sure you are subscribed to my channel because I would love to have you here. It's a good time. It's a fun time. I do weekly vlogs and I put them out every single Monday. Also, check the description. Like I said in the beginning, all the links to the books I mentioned will be down below, and also my social medias are down below. So if you don't follow me on my social media, which is Instagram and TikTok, make sure to do so. And I think that's it, and I will catch you guys in my next video.